Hello everyone, welcome to today's news charter. Let us begin with the most important topics that were there in the news today. Before getting into the topics itself, let us have a practice prelims question. Look at this question. They have given four statements about the Human Genome Project and they have asked which of the following statement is wrong, that is incorrect. So in these kind of question, first thing you need to know is they have not asked the correct option, they have asked the incorrect option. So you should not get confused with that. Now let us get into the statements. So four statements have been given. The first one is it is an international research effort to determine the sequence of the human genome. So human genome project has been in news regularly. So this is something which everyone should be knowing. So this is a correct option. You don't have to think a lot about it. The second option, it will help developing personalized medicines. So here is a tip for you. Whenever there is a question related to science and technology, and if they have given an option that it is going to help in doing this, or it is going to help it is going to make our lives better, something like that, that statement is always correct. The third one, the project was coordinated by the National Institutes of Health and the US Department of Energy. So this statement is also correct. It is an initiative by the United States of America. The final one, human genome is made up of 24 chromosome pairs with a total of about 3 billion DNA base pair. Whenever a statement is loaded with a lot of facts, especially number-based facts, that statement is generally wrong. So here, 24 chromosome pair is a wrong option. Human genome has 23 pairs, so 24 is wrong. So this is the prelims practice question of the day. Let us begin with the India Skills Report 2024. Recently, the India Skills Report was released. Who released it is very important for examination. It was released by an assessment agency called VBOTS in collaboration with AICTU, CII, AIU, Google, and Tagged. According to the India Skills Report 2024, Kerala is the most preferred state to work. Why it is the most preferred state to work? Because the environment in Kerala is very conducive for people to come and work. Second, the gender inclusion in employment is very high. Apart from this, it is also shown that there is a positive shift in India's employability landscape. Earlier, whenever we were talking about employment in India, everyone used to criticize that Indian students are getting educated, but they are not employable in nature. That means their skill level is very less. But in the recent times, there has been a positive growth in this. Recently, the India Skills Report of 2024 shows that 51.25% of the surveyed youth had good amount of skills for employment. So this is a positive growth which you should be knowing from examination perspective. GS2, there is a topic on employment, there is a topic on human resource development. You need to know about it. Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram, both the cities in Kerala, have notably emerged as cities where both genders exhibit equal interest in employment opportunity. How Kerala was able to achieve this? So apart from all the other states, if you see, the employability in Kerala is very good. It is a very good preferred state to work. The reason being, the government has been focusing both on education and skill development at the same time. Instead of just focusing on education, they are focusing on skill development also. Apart from that, even in government schools, they are giving computer skills to the students, due to which a lot of students are technically educated. Due to all these factors, Kerala has emerged as one of the best destinations for employment. So, such a model should be replicated in other states also. Genome sequencing in India. Certain points you need to know: genome, genetics, DNA, RNA, these topics are favorite topics of UPSC. So, certain topics, certain points you should know from prelims examination point of view. The IndiGen program was launched in 2019. CSIR, that is Center of Scientific and Industrial Research, plans to undertake a genome sequencing of 1,000 Indian rural youth. So what exactly is genome? We first need to know what exactly is a human genome or what exactly is genome. Genome means the entire gene that is present in a human being or in an animal or in a plant. In humans, 23 chromosome pairs are there with a total of 3 billion DNA pair. So our body is made up of cells. Each cell have a nucleus. Inside a nucleus, we have the DNA, and then the DNA carry chromosomes. So chromosomes carry all the genetic information that is required, which will make you the entire human being. So this is the genome. Why do we need to sequence the genome? Once we sequence the entire genome, we will get complete information about our genes. What differences each and every person has in their gene. What differences people from certain region or certain country have. So with this, it becomes easy to identify genetic diseases. It becomes easy to produce medicines. It becomes very easy to identify why certain people are more susceptible to certain diseases like diabetes or heart diseases, etc. So this is the basic idea. About indigen program, I have explained. What is genetic genome sequencing? Genome sequencing is figuring out the order of DNA nucleotides. DNA is made up of four important nucleotides. One is adenine, second one cytosine, third guanine, and then finally thymine. You don't have to get into the details of this, just know the names, that is enough. Apart from these two programs, apart from the indigen program and the human genome program, which we discussed in the prelims question, there is another program called Genome India. Genome India is a program launched by the Indian government in 2020. It is funded by the Department of Biotechnology and the CBR, that is Center for Brain Research. The aim of this project is to identify genetic variations in 10,000 representatives all over India. Once we identify the genetic differences, we will come to know what kind of changes are there in the genes of Indian population according to the region. So region based study we will get an idea of how our people are different based on places. So these are all the things you need to know from prelims point of view. Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary case was there in news. It is related to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. First thing you need to know about the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The act was introduced because India signed a convention called as the Vienna Convention. Vienna Convention was introduced to combat the money laundering. So, in order to prevent money laundering, India introduced the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. It is applicable to people, it is applicable to organizations, it is applicable to NGOs, and it is applicable even to financial institutions. Even the banks, mutual funds, all financial institutions should adhere with the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Prevention of Money Laundering Act also introduced a term called as the politically exposed persons. Politically exposed persons are individuals who have been employed by a foreign country but then working in India. And it also includes chartered accountants, company secretaries, everyone, because for an individual, it is the chartered accountant who is going to do all the accounts. So this is the basics of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So what's the significance of Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary case? In Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary case, the Supreme Court told that the government can apply the Prevention of Money Laundering Act on a particular person only if he has proceeds of the crime. That means if he has a property or if he has money in his hand which has directly come out of money laundering, then you can apply the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. In other cases, you can't. For example, if there is a person who has disproportionate asset, but the government is not able to prove that the asset he has in his hand at present is from money laundering, then you cannot apply Prevention of Money Laundering Act on that person. So this is what Supreme Court told. Why this point is important? Because in the recent times, Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been used in several states, especially on ministers, MLAs, etc. Post Office Bill 2023 has been introduced recently. So we need to know at least the basics of Post Office Bill. Post Office Bill 2023 allows for interpretation of the articles which are sent on post by people. So that means people who are working in post office, who are the authorities, the government officials from now on can intercept the articles which are sent on post if they have a doubt that the article which is sent is will impact the security of the state or will impact the friendly relations of India with other foreign states, or it will impact the public order, it will cause some emergency. In such cases, they can intercept. So, who are all empowered? It empowers any officer of the post office. So, this is the major problem with this act. Any officer of the post office can intercept any article which is sent on post if they have a doubt that this article will create problem for the security of the state, or it will cause some problem for the public order, etc. So the if we have to analyze this act, or if we have to analyze this bill with the Puttaswamy case, KS Puttaswamy versus Union of India happened in 2017, in which the Supreme Court very clearly told right to privacy is a fundamental right. So when a person sends certain articles or certain materials on post, that is his private matter. How can a official from post office intervene on it just because he has a doubt? So there is a need for the government to modify this bill. Important point from mains examination perspective. The Global Innovation Index 2022 was released, in which it was told that India's research and development expenditure is just 0.7% of its total GDP. India is 53rd in expenditure on research and development. With this pace, it becomes very difficult for India to develop into a global scientific power. If you consider China, the amount of expenditure is 2.54% of total GDP. So it is high time for India to increase its expenditure on research and development. Mains question of the day: enumerate the major problems faced by judiciary of India. What are all the problems faced by judiciary? From GS2 perspective, you need to know. Enumerate means just list down. So the problems faced by judiciary are there are very less judges. High amount of vacancy is there. Judicial pendency is very high. Lot of cases are still pending, and there is lack of link between the people and the judiciary. People do not generally go to the court immediately because it is very expensive, etc. So you can come up with points. How could an all India judicial service provide solution? It is mentioned in the constitution that if the Rajya Sabha pass a resolution with a two-third majority, then they can start a all India judicial service. So if a all India judicial service gets started, how these problems will be solved? You have to mention them. Study about it. It is there in your Lakshmikant Polity book. Important point from prelims examination perspective. India has received a prize bid from France for the purchase of 26 Rafale M carrier based fighters. We need to know what exactly is this Rafale fighter jet. If you remember, in 2016, India placed an order for Rafale fighter jets, which they received also. Some number of Rafale had been received. Now, at present, India has placed a offer to purchase 26 more Rafale fighter jets, but all these fighter jets are for the Navy. From Navy's perspective, the jets have to go on with certain modifications. What are the modifications? It need to be ready for high impact landing, because these fighter jets, which will be utilized by the Navy, should be able to land on the Air Force carrier when and where they want. It has to be ready for catapult or ramp launches. That is, there will be a ramp on the fighter on the aircraft carrier, which will be a very short distance, and the Rafale fighter jet should be in a position to move that ramp very easily and ability to launch immediately. It should be corrosive resistant because it will be functioning in salt water environment. So all these facilities you should be knowing. Apart from this, Rafales will be having very good radar facility, and it is Rafale is preferred by the Indian Army, by the Indian Navy, and the Air Force also, because Rafale can carry very high amount of load. It can carry huge amount of load, and it can travel at a very high speed. It is one of the best fighter jets at present in the world. So that will be all for today. Have a good day and study well. If there is any doubt regarding any topic, you can comment directly in the comment section. We'll meet tomorrow.